This time has been difficult for all of us. But Christmas comes. We must do our best to enjoy it.
I don't want to enjoy anything right now. Like, nothing.
Just a girl. Your mother created our world.
My mother made all of this.
Don't let me out of your sight.
She was our queen.
At your service, Princess Clara.
Princess.
The future of the realms lies with you. Be careful who you trust.
I've been expecting you.
Just a girl. Mother Ginger wants to rule the realms.
I'm going to fix it. Can you help me?
It's time to save the kingdom.
She's going to destroy everything my mother created.
Are you ready?
I'm just a girl.
This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man. And, last night, Thursday night, opening night, I saw the Nutcracker and the Four Realms. And, what was surprising to me is that, this is actually one of the first, if only, official Christmas movies that we've gotten so far here in 2018. I was just talking with someone, just a few days ago about, there really hasn't been, I guess we were talking about all the Halloween movies that had come out. Goosebumps, the clock in the walls, Halloween, of course, Hellfest, and all the Halloween movies. But yet there hasn't been any significant Christmas movies, and not even any on the horizon that I've seen. Except maybe for one or two of the Christian value kind of movies that come out, very small, marginal, audience. But, I guess Nutcracker and the Four Realms falls into the Christmas category because, based on the Swan Lake kind of ballet. It's always around Christmas. It centers on Christmas. A girl getting a gift of this crazy Nutcracker soldier that ends up saving her. So yes, this is a Christmas movie. All right, so remember our rating scale. Shock a thumbs up. It's good to see. I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down. It's bad to see. It's junk. I don't recommend it. And for the Nutcracker and the Four Realms, it is overall a shock a thumbs up. So yes, shock a thumbs up for the Nutcracker and the Four Realms. Now this stars Mackenzie Foy, Helen Mirren, Keira Knightley, and I want to say newcomer Lil Buck. And he actually stars the Nutcracker captain soldier. And his role is phenomenal. And for some reason, I don't understand why, he is left out of the cast listing. If you were to Google this, he is not on there at all. I had to search around for who played this guy. And he's a pretty good, significant part of the whole movie. I mean, it is, he is the title character, the Nutcracker. Yeah, that being said, I have to say what this movie actually is and what it entails is a melding of Alice in Wonderland and the movie or book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And you can see that clearly from the previews, from the trailers. If you just look, she's traveling through some kind of tunnel, apparently ending up in some mystical land, very much like the children going through the wardrobe closet and ending up in, their fantasy land, or even Alice going through the looking glass and ending up, in Wonderland. And just like in Alice in Wonderland, you know, Mackenzie Foy, who plays Clara, the female protagonist, you know, is essentially the savior of this land, or heralded as the savior of this land, this fantasy realm, this kingdom that her mother had created, and is very much under siege by one of, you know, the former protectors of this realm, you know, of these 4 realms. And of these 4 realms, there is, yeah, I'm going to get this wrong. There's Candyland, Winterland, Flowerland, and Amusement Land, which apparently Amusement Land rises up to attempt to take over the rest of the lands, and thus is banished from the rest of the realms, and they are at war with them for many, many years. And we find out that their name, you know, they are no longer referred to as Amusement Land, but as the 4th Realm. You know, and that is who Clara comes in to combat. And the former Amusement Land, or the 4th Realm, is controlled by an evil witch-like woman played by Helen Mirren, who is I believe, a new character. You know, of course, this is all, you know, the Nutcracker is all based on the ballet, you know, Tchaikovsky's, you know, ballet, story, music, dance, which shows, you know, I guess, I don't know much about the ballet, and I don't know much about this story other than what I had seen of it as children. But basically it encompasses a dramatic battle between toy soldiers led by a brave captain, the Nutcracker, against the Mouse King and evil forces who attempt to kidnap this girl, who I believe in the original story is gifted the Nutcracker soldier, toy soldier. This Disney adaptation changes the story greatly. If you love the ballet story, and if you love the ballet itself, the Nutcracker, you will be disappointed with this movie, and you won't really appreciate it or like it. But as its own standalone, you know, combination of Alice in Wonderland and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, kind of a fantasy tale, I do give it a shock of thumbs up, and I believe children mainly will enjoy this movie far more than adults. There is some nodding to the ballet itself. Misty Copeland does make a special guest appearance as a ballet dancer, which, you know, she is, you know, the American phenom of ballet dancers, I believe. You know, and kind of gives an overall view of the story within like 5 minutes, you know, for 5 minutes of the movie. And then again, during the end credits, she is dancing to, you know, Tchaikovsky's great ballet suite. However, you know, if you are a fan of the ballet, the story of that, you know, you will be disappointed with this movie, because it is not that. It is very much more an Alice in Wonderland story. The female heroine comes in to save the day from the evil witch. However, you know, as in pure Disney fashion, and even maybe a nod to Beauty and the Beast, all is not as it seems. Those who are monstrous truly are not the villains, and those who are filled with goodness and sweetness, beneath that candy coating is, you know, darkness and evil and spite. Keira Knightley plays the sugar plum queen or regent for her land of sweets. And she and the Nutcracker are the first to befriend Clara, Mackenzie Foy, and set her on this path against, what was her, Mother Ginger is, I believe, the new character played by Helen Mirren, who the other three realms are in war with against, the fourth realm, amusement realm. And it is a little bit of a convoluted plot, but I think, the costuming is beautiful. The scenery is beautiful. It is a vast, fantastical world. I found myself very much thinking about Wizard of Oz throughout this movie. Especially kind of since the transition from real life into this fantasy realm is, the real life is kind of smoky, kind of obscured in your vision. Not black and white, say like the Wizard of Oz movie was, but once she enters this fantasy realm, it kind of clears up and there is a greater clarity for you to enjoy these fantastic views. Of this mystical world that her mother was queen of, and now Clara is the princess of who must save the day. As we find out in the real world, her mother had died of old age or I believe old age or illness. Actually, I think illness. But, essentially leaving her the kingdom, but one that she must discover it for herself. And with the help of her godfather, she is able to do so. And along the way, the important message for children out of this will be to look into yourself for confidence, for the abilities that lie within you, I guess is the number one takeaway for this movie, that you will want to have your children, find answers within themselves, essentially, knowing that, you have taught them, life lessons, and they have to remember those teachings in order to, use them and adapt and cope with life's challenges. And I think that's the essential takeaway that, young children will get from this movie, along with the satisfaction of, general good over evil, in a fantasy kind of environment, much like Alice in Wonderland or The Land of Oz or Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe movies or stories. So that being said, I paid full price 3D for this. The 3D is nice, and again, in the fantasy realms, it is very spectacular and visually stunning, especially the costuming, really fantastic. The colors pop out. But I would recommend you see this on the discount days of Tuesday, $6 at Regal, $7 over at Consolidated, or during the matinee with your youth, because it is more of a child story. Adults, there is a convoluted plot that will be lost on adults, and even I kind of struggle a little bit with. But overall, it is a shock of thumbs up, especially if you're a child. I think you will immensely enjoy this movie. But that being said, you shouldn't have to pay $15, $20 for the 3D, for the IMAX, or, even $12 for the night show. Go during the day when it's cheaper on the discount days, and you'll be far more satisfied with it. All right, so again, Nutcracker and the Four Realms, shock a thumbs up overall, especially for your little ones, and especially as the only Christmas movie out, at least so far. You can't miss with it. All right, thank you so much. This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man. Again, Nutcracker and the Four Realms, giving it a shock a thumbs up. Go ahead and take your children to see it and have a good time. All right, thank you so much, and aloha.